right. Like it's about that time. LeIllKid at OneYoungsta holding it down, bringing the StreetGeek and NERDSoul. What is up, my people? Today all year, coming with another wonderful episode of That's Right, on screen. Star Trek is holding it down. Star Trek Discovery is holding it down. We are here on the episode The Sanctuary. We going back to Book's home, the brotherland, if you will. And this one got some tricks in there. So big shout out to everybody who's watching live right now, jumping in the chat, comments and all that, or whatever y'all want to do. And anyone who's watching on the replay, big shout out. Thank you for coming through. Thank you for, spending your time, whether it's a second, it's a minute, or it's, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it is. So with that said, I want to start with this. Adira, they essentially stopped the show 2 times to let us know that Adira wants to go by they and them. Just so you know, this is brand new. When she first started, and I believe Stamets and Burnham called her she, nothing happened. She never did anything. She never changed anything. So if I say she on accident instead of saying they and them from now on, it ain't got nothing to do with no disrespect stuff. It ain't got nothing to do with me trying to be funny. I don't want to hear it. Get it up out of here, because it's not about that. I don't get down like that. This is my thing. I'm not interested in I'm not interested in that. That's not my thing. It's not how I get down. I see a young lady, so I may mess up and say she or her, or that's how she did or whatever, but they, them is how they want to be approached. So, them, we're, y'all, all that, all the extra, like, multiple people things. So with that said, let's talk about that scene where they stopped the show. I didn't like it. I wish they would have handled this before, right when she came out of the water. Remember they went into the water. They went to her planet. They went down in the water. She got essentially kind of like reconnected with her past lives. I would have liked to have that moment then. The moment now seems like it seems like it's shoehorned in. Like they were like, oh yeah, let's throw in the they, them thing. It would have made way more sense for them to do the they, them thing at the water scene. Like once she came out of the water, once she got back on the ship, she could have said something to the extent of like, connecting with my past selves. I want to be, I am, now that I've connected with them, I'm a new being. I am a new person. I'm fully changed, whatever. And I want to be represented or respected as they, them. And they're like, all right, cool, word up, we got you. But now, way past the fact, it seems like, well, dude, why you ain't say something before? We could have been, like, because she had this look on her face like she was annoyed. And it's like, well, closed mouths don't get fed. You annoyed because you ain't say nothing. Why you ain't tell us you wanted to be they, them back then? Now all of a sudden you waiting, people calling you she because that's what they see. And now here you come talk about they, them. It seems like a wasted scene, and it seems like you stopped the show to do this when you could have done it naturally. When they had her come out of the water when she was on her planet, or I guess when she was on the symbiote planet or whatever, and she kind of like connected with the memories of like the old captain, the old commander, whatever, the old Starfleet man and her boyfriend and all that stuff. When she connected back with all them, it would have made sense. It would have been natural then, and I would have been like, word, no doubt, she been reborn. You know what I'm saying? She knew. They knew. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I mean. Anyway, with that said, with Adira, another thing that I do really like to see is I don't know if I'd say paternal relationship, but you see that Stamets really cares about them. You see he cares. He's looking at her he's looking at them like yo, that's my girl, right? That's them right there. I can't. That's baby. That's not baby girl, but that's baby them. You know what I mean? Just like that's my peoples. You know what I'm saying? I care about them. I want to make sure they shine. And when they shine, it makes me feel good to see them shine. So I do like to see that, because she's looking for some help, some emotional support, some some, I guess, a rock to lean on. You know what I'm saying? And Stamets being there for her really makes a huge difference in my eyes, man. I think it's a great relationship for him and her, to be able to have someone to, I mean, him and them to care for. You know what I'm saying? To kind of be there for one another and lean on one another, and then also see each other win. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's looking over there like, yo, they can do this joint in like a couple hours. And then you see him like, smiling and happy that someone believes in them. You know what I'm saying? So I enjoy that relationship. It's like a little proud papa in Stamets. So I love that, man. I really dig that. We only get 2 moments with her, with them. We only get 2 moments with them, but the relationship of kind of like the father-daughter thing, you know what I'm saying, is real cool. And then Hugh with that, like, kind of like pushing him forward, like, yo, man, go, she needs you. I mean, they need you, do kind of be there, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's dope, man. I think that's real dope. And, I was wondering where they were going to go with Stamets and Adira when they first got together, because she at first seemed like she might be out of place on the show. Because we do have a good amount of characters, you know what I'm saying? Even Detmer got into it and flying the ship today, you know what I'm saying? So, and we'll get into that later. So there are a lot of characters that do need shine here and there, but I think they did a very good job of depicting Adira and Stamets and finding a way for them to have a relationship inside of the fullness of the kind of Discovery family, the Discovery crew, if you will. So I thought that was dope. Slide that to the side. What up, Hugh? I see you out there getting your doctor on. So Giorgio finally says, hey, I'm a go get a physical, right? And this volley of words between Giorgio and Hugh back and forth is just interesting. Because he's sitting there like, look, you can be as mean as you want. You dying, not me. All right? You the one having blackouts and fainting. I'm good. I ain't fainting nowhere. So why don't you get your butt up in this chair so I can scan you and shut up? Ain't nobody trying. He's like, I eat your kids or something. He was like, well, I want to have kids. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't scare me. You ain't no skin off my back. Look, I'm here to help you out. You don't want no help? Then please. And then I also like the fact that, after they scan her and they go through everything, the first kind of scan where they scan the eyes, I like how you see these small inflections with her facial expressions and her body posture to let you know that she's not okay. You know what I'm saying? I dig that. I really do. I dig that whole thing with Giorgio I dig that whole thing with Michelle Yeoh. I've been a fan of Michelle Yeoh way back since she was in like fight movies way back in like the 80s, 90s or whatever. But even now, man, I've been a champion of hers for a minute. She's a dope actress. I'm glad she's getting some shine. And she is awesome in this. And I like that she's become like the ornery person because she'll be mean to people. They're like, yeah, all right, whatever. She's like, I killed my mother or whatever. And like, and Brandon was like, no, you didn't. Like, stop telling them lies so we can go on and get your physical. But we do get into something deeper. And I want to ask you real quick, let me know what she said when she woke up out of the kind of the vision she had or the dream, where did she say son as in my son, or san as in like a name of a person or a surname of someone? Because I couldn't catch it and I didn't have the captions on. So let me know what you think about that one, because I don't know if she said son as in like my son, like I birthed a child that was a boy, or san meaning like someone's name or someone's surname. Yeah, I think that's the only thing that I'm missing. But we got some more of that kind of blackout scene where you see her, like you see the sword, you see the blood, you get to see a little bit more of her face, of her like walking around, I guess the body before she touches it. So there's something there that either I still think, you know, the dude that she had to talk with did something to her. I don't know what it is, but he did something. Or at least he knows, because when you see the preview for next week, you see him in it and you see them talking to him. We don't really get a full conversation. Of course, they got to tease you, but I'm pretty sure he did something to her, or at least knows what's going on. Maybe he did something that unlocked this trauma in her mind or whatever. Whatever it was, it's something serious, and I'm glad that we're getting to the root of it. I don't think they're dragging it along. I do want a resolution, but I don't think that they're dragging it so far that I'm tired of it. And I also like how, they took off the little head, sensor thingies, and she stole them from Hugh, and Hugh was like, I ain't stupid. I wanted to see what you was going to do with these. That's why I ain't call you on. Yo, Hugh is like one of the smartest dudes on the ship. That's what's so dope about this. Like, everybody's on point. Like, nobody's slipping. No, like everybody's good. Like, everybody's good. Ain't nobody slipping. Everybody fine. And I like how she turned around and he was standing there like, where you been? Go and give it up. We need to go talk somewhere quietly. So I like that. And I also like that even though she's in pain, Giorgio is able to keep up some type of comedic, banter. Because she came in with the outfit and, she made her comments about the outfit and, what could be going on and stuff like that. And, it's just one of those things. She is who she is. But I'm glad that even though she is who she is, was who she was, because she's way different than she was when she first came over back from the other universe to our, I guess, Prime Universe. I guess I don't really know which one to call it, Prime Universe. And I mean, of course, I'm sure more studied Star Trekians or Star Trekkers or whatever will let me know. Trekkies or Trekkers will let me know what universe we're in. But for general sci-fi and comic book purposes, I'll just say the Prime one, or the one that we are the most in, the Prime Universe, I guess. Universe 1, 001 or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, I like how even though she acts the way she does, I do believe she knows there are those that care about her, have her best interests at heart, want her to be safe and healthy. And I think she relies on it. I do. I think she relies on it. And I don't think she's one of those people that are never going to say thank you. But what they'll do is give you she's one of those people that'll give you like a weird backhanded compliment, which essentially means thank you. Like, I'm pretty sure y'all probably got somebody in your family, that old mean uncle or old mean auntie, and they'll say something that's like halfway nice, and that's their thank you or I'm sorry. And that's pretty much all you're going to get. Now, whatever uncle or auntie it is, or it might be your grandmama, granddaddy, whatever, that's probably all the thanks you're going to get. Should you get more? Yes, but they is who they is. So let's get into what we talked about a little bit in the last episode, was Tilly and Saru's relationship. And how would that be? She did make that statement about, am I qualified or am I compliant? And things like that. And I was wondering if she was going to be like sort of like a yes man kind of thing. And we see kind of their regular conversation at first, where it's like sort of jovial, and Saru's just like, like whatever. So you see how she's kind of like happy-go-lucky. He's kind of like, with the clipboard by the book. But later on, what I really enjoy is she's not afraid to step up and offer solutions that work sort of for everybody. Like, where homegirl, they were like, we can't fire on her. We're Federation. Everybody in the Federation will be in trouble. She was like, well, what if a ship that wasn't Federation was piloted by someone who would be severely disciplined, happened to go rogue at the top. I like that. It reminds me of what is it? Beverly Hills Cop 2. And I think it's one of the characters are trying to bribe someone. He was like, they had like parking tickets in one hand. He was like, is there something that I can put in this hand that'll make you forget about what's in this hand? You'll be like, I'm not even interested in this hand anymore. I want to know what's in this hand. Is there something that can go in this hand over here that'll make you forget? So I kind of like Tilly working out for us. You know what I'm saying? Because Tilly could have been like, well, buy the book and don't do nothing. Tilly was just like, all right, look, check it like this. Say if somebody took a ship that could be on the premises and went out as a rogue person and just shot up the bad people, and maybe everybody be okay. So I like that. I like how she came through. Shouts out to Tilly. Tilly, you working out. You working out. I'm telling you, when you first came on the show, I was like, I don't know. The girl is talkative. Yeah, that's what your boy used to get, or his report card. It'd be like honor roll, but then it would be like talkative. So look, if you're talkative, look, you turn out like Tilly. Be mad smart and chilling on a ship. But so I like how she came through with that, and it worked a lot. Speaking of working a lot, shouts out to Keela Detmer, yo. Detmer flying. She said, look, I'm out here trying to fly, but check it. Let me go manual, full manual, son. Yo, look. The Discovery Squad is sweet. There's like nobody whack on the Discovery, for real. Like there's no one that I wouldn't trust to be able to handle their duties at like A+ level. You get out there, we got Ren, who we'll talk about in a minute. We got Ren with Detmer, and she's, flying the ship. And, it gets to the point where, their shields are falling, and it's a much larger ship. And I love Bookship. We'll talk about Bookship again. But Ren is like, yo, man, let's just give up. Let's just turn back. And you see her with the resolve, like, nah, we gonna do this. And she like, matter of fact, not only we gonna do this, we going full manual. So I loved it, man. I love that sequence with, of course, Bookship. Bookship is incredible. Yo, Bookship is, straight up, best ship 2020 NERDSoul Awards, Bookship. I don't even know, does Bookship have a name? We're just going to continue to call it the Brothership. Shouts out to, I can't remember, was it Mr. Black Culture? I can't remember who named it, but the Brothership, that's what we're going to call it from now on. But I dug that scene because she seemed to get out of her funk that she's been in since they've returned, or since they've shown up in this timeline. Detmer's had this weird thing going on where maybe like her confidence isn't right, or maybe mentally she's just not there, so she's shaken. But here she seemed to get her groove back. And that's something that I really, really loved about this scene. We got to see cool flying. We got to see top-notch resolve from one of our crew. And we got to see Detmer get her groove back. So I'm happy on all accounts with that too. Top-notch quality acting. And the effects were John Blazini. So let's talk about the mission, because we get a little bit more of the Emerald Chain. We see, what is his name? Tolor? Is it Talor? Tolor. I think it's Tolor. We see Tolor from the slave, colony or whatever. And we see Osira finally show up. And Osira it's funny because Osira isn't particularly scary. It seems like Osira's just the one that has all the money and all the guns. Like she herself, like when she comes on the scene, you're not like, oh my God, she's so scary. She just seems slimy, snake-like, if you will. You know, like she's a very schemy type of person, but she's not like a intimidating presence. But she also has this attitude of like, I got all the money and I got all the guns. So what you gonna do? I got more guns than you, Federation. So what you want? So, and then also being able to know that you have all the warp capable ships in a certain quadrant or whatever. She's got, you know, of course, like in Iron Man, what they say, peace is holding the biggest stick. So right now, she has the biggest stick. She got all the bullets, all the weapons, all the guns, the ships and warp cores and all that. So that's what's really dangerous about it. Because when you meet her, you're like, oh, this is Osira. I feel like Giorgio is scarier than she is. And it's like, well, yeah, Giorgio is scarier than she is. She just has all the guns. She got the guns and butter. You know what I'm saying? So seeing how she leans on people is very like old school mafia style. Like, oh, well, you know, we'll just make sure that, you know, you guys can't get no food. You know what I'm saying? We'll just make sure it's interesting how they weren't openly threatening them. It was more of this passive, like, well, you know, if you don't do what I say, then maybe you guys will have a bad harvest. You know, kind of like that thing. And that helps me kind of like break down her character a little more and understand it a little more. And I also think that with a character like this, it'll be easier to handle her, or there might be someone behind her that we don't know. Because she didn't really strike me as someone who's like, oh God, we in trouble. She just struck me as someone like, if we catch her slipping, this is slammed up. Because I honestly feel the way Detmer had her on the run, if the Discovery shot on her a couple of times, look, between you and me, Saru might not have liked this plan. But with the shields down, or at least weakened, and book ship all on her butt, and she couldn't get it off, I think a couple shots from the Discovery would have killed everybody on that ship. It wouldn't been no story to tell. It wouldn't been no Emerald Chain left. And we could wrap this season up today. Even though they ain't gonna do that. You know Saru ain't gonna do that. Because I'd have been like, yo, if I was Tilly, I'd have been like, all right, Saru, check this. I ain't say kick her while she down, but before she spool up that warp drive, go and throw a torpedo out over there. You know what I'm saying? Just throw that 4-ton torpedo over there real quick. So we'll see how it plays out. But she seems like one of those enemies or villains of kind of like villains of necessity. Or villains, villains that come along because there's a power vacuum. Not someone who's particularly dangerous, but just someone who is able to kind of corral all the bullies. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we'll see how this plays out. But I see we're getting more of the Emerald Chain, more of the attitude. I think they're extremely beatable. I would have held mine a little bit tougher than Saru with that joint. Because remember the Discovery can do like 80 jumps and like pew, 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 and then like shoot at you from like all directions. Remember that sequence back in season 1? Like, yo, look, I would have held my joints a little bit harder. I'd have been like, when she talked about, I'll be forced to fire on you, I'd be like, look, what you think going on over here? All right? Because ain't nobody scared over here. Shoot if you want. See what happened. You know what I'm saying? Because ain't nobody scared. But you know what I'm saying? Hold that. We can't just go blasting on everybody. I know how Saru get down. I know that's why I can't be the captain. Because if I was the captain, season would have been over today. And we got like 5 more episodes. Y'all would have been robbed of 5 hours of Star Wars goodness if I was the captain, because I would have killed her on sight. Once she said something about firing on us, I'd be like, who, me? Shouts out to Mr. Black Culture. Nice to see you, man. Nice to have you up in the spot. So yeah, Osira is someone who I think we can handle well, especially now that we know the secret from Ren. The big secret is even the Emerald Chain is running out of dilithium, which means even the Emerald Chain won't be able to fly at warp speed, which means even the Emerald Chain will be subject to the same limitations as the Federation. And once they're subject to the same limitations of the Federation, what does that mean? You got to fight them on equal footing. And what does that mean? You ain't got the power. They probably ain't got the power to fight them on equal footing, but they got warp cores. You know what I'm saying? They got the dilithium right now. So without it, we'll see. We'll see. But I know one thing. Look, hey, I would have kicked her one time before she bounced. Like one because they already blew like a piece of the ship up, of Osiris' ship up. I would have threw a torpedo out there. I've been like, here, take this with you. Pow. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, look, we ain't playing no games over here. We real. Threaten me one more time, see what happens. You trying to take food out my mouth? All I'm trying to do is make some money to feed my daughter. Oh man. Anyway. With that said, let's talk about I completely blanked on the name of the planet now. Is it Quajon? Please forgive me on messing up the name of this planet. Mr. Black Culture, let me know what the name of the planet was. I can't remember now. I want to say it was Quajon, but I'm probably wrong. Anyway, Book Going Home is something beautiful because we get to see some more black love. You see him feeling like, you know what I'm saying, kind of, you know, trepidatious. Yeah, I said it. You know what I'm saying? Trepidatious about going home. His woman was like, nah, I got you. I want to see, you know what I'm saying? I want to be with you. I'm gonna be there with you when you go home. I'm gonna be side by side holding hands. Whoo! Hashtag Black Love. Federation. In the future. Black love in space. That's what I'm talking about. Stand by her man. He like, I need my woman. She like, I got you. So we go down there. I'm like, I ain't even heard of sea locusts. They look cute, but they tearing up all the crops. Born Eternal said, I forgot too. I want to say it's Quajon, Quajor. Man, I'm probably messing that planet all up, man. Shouts to NRAM in the spot. Man, I know I'm messing up. I'm messing up the name of that planet. But seeing them come down, I was like, you know, when they come down there, his brother gonna be mad at him. This is a trope that we know is gonna happen. It's like, look, his brother gonna be mad at him, and we gonna figure out why. And, you know, they're gonna get together by the end of the episode. But we learn a lot about the history of the planet and how the Emerald Chain has kind of like squeezed this planet. It's like kind of back to kind of like the mafia analogy. The Emerald Chain is, I mean, of course they got weapons and they're dangerous, but it seems like they kind of just squeeze people and intimidate people and stuff. It's like, you know, oh, well, you need to pay us for security. Well, what do you mean security? Nothing happens here. And then they break a couple windows and they're like, see, if you had security, those windows wouldn't be broken. And be like, but you broke them. It's like, you did this. Like that for your, so yes, it seems like the Emerald Chain is trying to do the evil version of the Federation, even though I'm gonna get on the Federation's butt in a minute because we won't talk about that too. The Emerald Chain is essentially just intimidating planets into joining or being under their rule. You know what I'm saying? And just kind of like keeping their thumb on them. You know what I'm saying? So we see that dad and granddad couldn't do nothing. We see that brother couldn't do nothing. That's why Book had to run away and leave and become another person. You know what I'm saying? He ain't dad. Don't call me by my old name. I'm X now. You know what I'm saying? Don't call me by my slave name. I'm a new man. So I love that, honestly. I honestly do love how we get some reconnection, and through that reconnection, through a kind of tried and true story kind of like story trope, we learn a little bit more about the length of time that the Emerald Chain has been doing to this planet. Because he said father and grandfather. So Emerald Chain been doing this to Quajon. I'm gonna say Quajon. I'm pretty sure that's wrong, but you guys will let me know. The Emerald Chain has been doing this to this planet for quite some time. Like, this ain't brand new. If it's grandfather, father, and now the current son, I don't know what, around at least about 70 years or so. You know what I'm saying? Maybe even longer. So we'll see where the alliance lies now, because not only were we able to get rid of Osira, but we were able to get rid of the sea locusts, get them up off the planet, and I guess they'll, the Discovery will take the sea locusts to the sea locust home or something, somewhere where sea locusts can, thrive and not eat up everybody's crops or something. And we'll see a Quajon, and maybe they'll talk to other planets that are like, you know what, the Federation ain't as bad as we thought. Now, getting on the Federation must have did some wild stuff, son. Because every time the Discovery goes somewhere, we got someone saying, yo, man, I was told the Federation was whack. You guys is all right. And I think another job of the Discovery will not just be helping out the Federation as far as bodies and troops on the ground, and also being able to disperse, maybe like supplies or something, but also repairing the Federation's image and hopefully changing the mindset of the current Federation through the old school Federation's ideals. Because I think that's, like we talked last week about being on Navarre, AKA Vulcan Jr. I think one thing that helped them is that since they're from 930 years in the past, they don't have the baggage of the new Federation with Navarre. They're completely objective, so they can come in without any bias, without any objective, without being, having any kind of plots or plans or motivations. Like, they're just coming in honestly like, yo, I'm brand new, I'm trying to figure out how to help. And it's easier to receive someone like that besides someone who might have, hurt you years and years ago, and you kind of like never let it go. So I think that's going to be another big job of the Discovery, is kind of repairing what was broken as far as just diplomatic relations in general. And I dig that. I dig that a lot. I think there's a lot of work to be done on their part, but I think they are well suited to do it, because the Discovery, as we've seen, is such a different attitude and different outlook on, diplomacy, I guess space policy, what the Federation is, what they should do, how they should interact. And so I love that. Like, even old boy came in, Ren came into, reset the Federation universe. Yeah, I love how Ren came in. He was like, who's your boss in charge? And Tilly was like, come correct or don't come. You know what I'm saying? Back up, recognize who this is. And then Ren was like, you know what? I was bugging. May I speak to the captain? She was like, thank you. You know what I'm saying? Don't get wrecked. So, you know what I'm saying? But I do like that. And I think this will be not only good for the Federation as a whole, but good for the planets that they interact with, to maybe put the Discovery in the lead, especially for diplomatic stuff like, hey, can y'all go over there? Because they kind of hate us because we did something. We don't know what they did yet, but they did something, that people ain't happy about. Lastly, let's talk about The Burn and this song, and how the original sound was locked inside this song, and we're finding out more and more about this origin point, and that somebody did this. And now that we got an algorithm working from Adira and Stamets, and we're going to find out where this, original distress call came from. I'm excited. I think next week is a double episode, if I'm not wrong. Next week, it says episode 9 and 10, I believe. So I don't know how they're running. I guess it's just a 2-hour episode, but I could be wrong. Let me know in the chat or in the comments. But next week, it says 9/10 Terra Firma. So I guess we're getting a 2-hour episode or just 2 episodes back to back. And I hope that we learn a lot. And I assume that they're doing this because after these 2 episodes, it's going to be full gas to the finale. Because once we get 9 and 10, there's only 3 episodes left. So after next week, it's probably going to be, pedal to the metal until we finish this thing. So I'm now that we've had this episode, I'm more intrigued by the burn than I am by the Emerald Chain. I think the Emerald Chain is your basic kind of like mob boss, mafia, organized crime that we can take care of if we can get a handle on her and also show the planets that are scared of them that they ain't the only big guns in the universe, then I think people will start to turn on them. And of course, your power is only, the power people give to you. So if people don't give them power, then, hey, look, what can you do? You got to run. And when you got the Federation on you, you might not win that one. So yeah, NRAM says it looks like 1 episode. It's weird because I know there's 5 episodes left, but next week it says that they're showing 9 and 10. So I don't know how they're going to do it, but at least for now, for what I'm seeing, and this is from one article and also from Wikipedia, which can be wrong, but it says next week we're getting episode 9 and 10. And then, of course, after that, episode 11, 12, and 13 will be by themselves. So we'll see. Never know. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? I don't know. I don't know nothing. But I'm always here to enjoy that hotness. So, guys, thank you for rolling through. That's what I'm feeling, man. This is another one that I enjoyed, man. I think we can do this. I'm not worried about Emerald Chain no more. I am worried about who may have orchestrated this burn, though, because that might be a bigger problem for maybe this season and the next. That's right, UNITY, Planet Unity. Oh man. So all right, so IMDb shows it differently. All right, cool. We'll see. I'd love to get parts 1 and 2 in the same day, but man, who knows? Yo, CBS, stop tripping on us, man. Give us part 1 and 2 in the same day. You know what I'm saying? Look, come on, we can handle it. I ain't saying put the whole season out. Just give us part 1 and 2 in the same day. And then we ain't gotta wait. You know what I'm saying? You got this good stuff, holding it back. But with that said, guys, thank you for rolling through. Big shouts to the chat. Mr. Black Culture, NRAM, Born Eternal Lord Allah. You know what I'm saying? Assalamu alaikum, my brother. But with that said, of course, NERDSoul, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all the places. YouTube is the hub. So hit that thumbs up if you like what you see. Hit the thumbs down if you don't. But if you don't, I'm going to send Osira after you. I mean, she's essentially sort of mean. But, I mean, I think you can handle her. I mean, she's not the most evil out there. You know what I'm saying? She ain't the worst. So I think you can handle her. But still, hit that thumbs up. And podcasts, if you rather listen, and wherever you get podcasts at, just search NERDSoul. You'll see me up there like, ha ha. And Spotify, if you want to listen, got them jams. So before we bounce, I'm going to leave y'all with ARCKATRON.com. Dude is dope. Space Bridging stores right now. Hot beats. You best to believe it. And before I go, thank you so much for watching. Yo, Bookship is still one of the dopest shit. Bookship is still dopest ship right now. It's over. Right now, I ain't trying to hear it. The Brothership is the best ship right now. So with that said, me to you, I'm just saying thank you for coming through, and Peace. Brothership. We back. Oh, yeah.